Hello and welcome to Community Chats. I'm your host, Aley Hammer, and today we're interviewing David Boyar, the CEO at Change GPS. David, thank you so much for being here today. Can you start by telling us a little bit about Change GPS?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. It's great to be here. Change GPS is a company that's been around for 10 years. We do legendary frontline accounting apps. Our customers are accountants, and we help them out with engagement software, tax planning software, practice management software as well, which is very much an accounting practice in a box. I guess our business started off like a regular business, and then we saw the cloud boom a few years ago and started investing in technology, and we've had a complete business transformation since we did that. Very much a part of the Xero ecosystem. Our customers being accountants, it's very hard not to be these days. And we've just had a fantastic last 12 months helping accountants navigate the very, very complex world of JobKeeper, JobMaker, and COVID stimulus measures.
What an amazing story. And as a company that helps accounting practices, both big and small, can you share with us how being on the AWS cloud has helped Change GPS to scale?
Well, the fundamental benefit of AWS cloud is scalability. So we're able to scale our load and scale a number of servers kind of without needing to do much management ourselves. We're able to choose, through Elastic Beanstalk, we're able to choose which servers get used. The scalability from AWS is important from a service delivery point of view, but without having to have developers managing that work internally, they're just heavily focused on product. So the actual scalability benefit is the agility you get in the product team through shipping new features quicker, which we were able to do excellently the past year, because we didn't have to worry about whether or not the servers were going to be able to deal with it or have somebody managing the servers.
It's so fantastic to see a company using technology to unleash the potential of your clients. And as an innovative company in the traditional industry, can you explain how Change GPS helps your customers increase their productivity, their performance, and also profit using the cloud?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm actually going to challenge you on one of those assumptions that you've made there. Accounting, whilst very much as a traditional industry, particularly accountants in Australia and New Zealand are the global leaders in cloud adoption. Very much triggered by Xero and close collaboration with the Australian and New Zealand governments, which are pushing a lot of digital regulation and a lot of digital solutions through payments, and definitely new e-invoicing solutions that are coming through. So the culture in Australia and New Zealand is to be very cloud happy, and there's a lot of attention about moving to the cloud. Because accountants move their accounting practices to the cloud very early in the piece compared to the global change, have a guess where their clients, the average mum and dad small business of Australia went to when they were looking for advice on their cloud adoption. They went to their accountants and their BAS agents. And so there are now accountants in Australia that specifically have an expertise in cloud transformation and cloud adoption. And I love this because the accountant is the person who you trust. You think they have your back. They're worried about your wealth creation. They're worried about your tax compliance. They're worried about your family and your estate planning. And now they're worried about your technology stack and how you're using technology to get a digital transformation in your business. So the culture within the accounting world is very different to, I think, a lot of the perception of accountants, which is very much the blue pinstripe suit wearing accountant of the 1980s that many people like to make fun of, really. So we have a very different culture, and it is a big market, and there are certainly people who are still like that. So for us to be able to come into that world and say, hey, here's actually a new way of doing things, the foundation's set for us. Change GPS itself, we don't advocate for mass extreme automation and integration of every single process in a business. What we want to see is pick the things that your customers care about the most and get the best possible tools to be able to deliver that. Sometimes that includes automating the guts out of something, and sometimes it means just having standardized processes, standardized work papers, standardized methods of communication. Accountants are great with numbers, not always great with words and writing, and so we're able to help them that through some of the apps that we have that automate report and insights for them.
Incredible. And you guys had a really good year last year. So I guess, how can you beat that? What's next for Change GPS?
Well, last year was a very tough year for pretty much everyone. And it was a tough year for us from the demand it put on us to be innovative and respond to the business environment that we were in. I think JobKeeper was announced by Scott Morrison on a Friday. on a Monday, we had 1,800 accountants on a webinar where we were delivering tools and help to manage that obscene amount of compliance work that was foisted on accountants and seemingly changed every day. There was new information every day. And so we were able to help accountants with that. We gave those tools away for free. Those tools were downloaded over 12,000 times by thousands. So I'd expect hundreds of thousands of Australian small businesses were able to benefit from that. That's unbelievably rewarding for us. And we wanted to make sure that we took that attention, that momentum, and I guess that adaptability that we became known for and do something good with it. So the future for Change DPS was actually announced yesterday at our epic online event called Change Day 2. We announced 2 new products, an actions product to help accountants not wake up in the middle of the night thinking, oh no, I've forgotten to do something, an engagement product, which is probably the best way for them to get paid the quickest, and all new plans and pricing. You know, we've been around for a while and we have a huge amount of our members that haven't had their price increased in 10 years. Being able to reprice somebody who's been in your customer for 10 years and is really your core, you know, they're your raging fan, is a challenge. And so we've packed in a huge amount of new resources and values and completely new apps into our programs and our plans to help people navigate through our new world. We used to have 1 price point for all of our products. And now we've got 3 because there are different types of accounting firms. You know, when I started my accounting career, I got told off for not wearing a jacket at lunchtime, walking up Collins Street in Melbourne CBD. Now accountants are leaving these big practices, setting up their practice overnight at the kitchen table and going surfing at lunchtime. And so we need to be able to have ways to use our technology and our products that suit that accountant, as well as the accountant who's still in the 4 partnership firm in suburban Victoria or suburban Sydney, and still doing those traditional type services. And as well, through last year, we had some really big firms contact us. And when you're dealing with enterprise level clients, you need to change your service method, your onboarding, your customer training. You also need a price point to be able to do that. So all that, as well as these incredible new apps, Actions and Engage, were announced yesterday at Change Day 2. We had 275 people online for that, and a few hundred watching in our Facebook group as well. This was a paid event. So in a world where everyone's apparently sick of Zoom meetings, we believe that unbelievable quality content will always win. That's our whole growth strategy is quality content. And that's actually our whole product strategy as well.
Incredible. I mean, you're smiling as you talk. So I'm super excited about these new products. And I'm sure your customers are as well. So I've got one last question, and I think you're going to give me a really good answer. What can you share with us? What do you think is going to be the next kind of big tech trend for 2021? It's kind of a difficult question, but I've been asking some of our customers, and I'm really intrigued to see what you think is going to come up.
So I think 2021 is going to be less about new tech and more about tech adoption. My family's in 2 different cities. They're half in Brisbane and half in Melbourne. And we have great grandparents on their mobile phones having video calls with their great grandkids. The adoption opportunity, and they're using technology that's been around for years. You know, Skype started doing this 10 years ago. It's much better now. But I think that once people have been forced to use technology under lockdown, their attitude is now more open to trying things that have been around for a long time. And what this means for companies and for us as well is a heavy focus on our success teams, making sure that they're resourced up to have the right conversations with existing customers. And growth will come because of other things that you're doing. But I really think we're in the era of tech adoption for stuff that's been around for a long time. And that should be very exciting for companies who have been in their markets for a while and have been leading for a while, because we're getting to that tip of the iceberg, or the tipping point really, for a lot of these technologies as everyone became comfortable using it last year.
Absolutely. And I feel like you are such a glass half full guy, you know, and you've turned COVID, which is obviously not the best situation, into something fantastic, and your business is thriving and got new product launches. So absolutely fascinating talking to you. And for all our viewers at home, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye, David.
Thank you. Bye.